this is Heidi with Roofers Coffee Shop, and we are in Innsbruck, Austria for the IFD Young Roofers Competition. We're on day 2, and so we wanted to hear what John Goodman of the NRCA, who is our leader, fearless leader, as we've gone through this wonderful competition, kind of what you thought about day 1 and where we're at today.
Well, day 1 is everything we thought it was going to be. The confusion, the successes, the challenges, everything was happening as we expected. Our teams walked away from day 1 exhausted, which is a good thing. They have picked up so many tips and so many additional ideas of how to step into day 2. It was fun to watch them at dinner last night as they were not just talking about sports or anything else. They were talking about day 2 and how they were going to attack the work that day.
We heard the exact same thing, and they were really like, okay, now we kind of know where we're at, what's going on. We need to change this, and we need to change that, and we need to look at doing it this way. You know, one of the ones that was really interesting was the whole concept of divide and conquer, because a lot of us, you know, and these companies especially, very team oriented, very family and team oriented, but what we saw yesterday is the teams that were really kind of functioning, hitting on all cylinders, were the ones who kind of had their own tasks. And so that was a little bit of a change for today.
Yeah, I look at that as discipline.
Yeah.
Their practice methods are disciplined, and that's washing over onto our teams.
Yeah.
Where they know exactly every move they're making, they know exactly where every tool is laid, they know what to do first and what to delay till third, and so they are what we wanted to accomplish. We are taking away the skill craft of the world.
Yes.
And it is washing over us.
Yes, it is. It is. And really the excitement from the competitors of getting into day 2, now having day 1 kind of, you know, in the bag.
They got the jitters out.
They got the jitters out because, geez, we're in Innsbruck, Austria for the World Championships. There's a little bit to that. You know, and when you really look at today what they're doing, we have standing seam metal, we have a mod bitumen built up low slope roof, and then we have clay tile. Those aren't easy systems either.
All of those systems in the United States require the best of our skills.
Yeah.
And here, it requires us to elevate our skills from that to compete with some of the other countries that are perennial gold and silver medal winners here.
Exactly, exactly. So one of the things that's kind of fun is that for the last 2 nights, the competitors have been all together for dinner, and so they are kind of getting to know each other. We actually walked around yesterday, and we were able to get to know some of the other international teams. What's some of your takeaways, John, on all the people you've met here and kind of the passion that you see?
It's so nice to have a common language, not the spoken language, but a common language of roofing.
Yes.
And we have that common passion. I can strike up a conversation, even if it's just pointing, because we're talking about roofing.
Yeah.
And so many of the people here want to talk about roofing. They want to know what we do in the United States. They want to know what we think of their teams.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was interviewed by the Swiss today, and they asked me, what do you think of our gold medal winning team? And I said, I love having our guys right next to your team.
Right.
So they can see what you do.
Yeah, it's really, and I have to tell you, last night there was, at the very end of the competition, a kind of a nail biter. There were 2 or 3 teams that were just on the steep slope who were just that close to finishing, and they did, and there was a race to the end, and everybody was, it was very dramatic. So there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of competition here, but there's also a lot of camaraderie where people are coming together and talking.
Yeah, people are talking. we're talking in the elevators back in our hotel room, in our broken German, in our broken English, in our broken UK English.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And if you're wondering, mostly there's English. When we were traveling here, I was kind of like, am I going to understand anything? But it's been great. The first night they did it on all the announcements, everything, both in English and in German. But we have competitors from all over the globe. We have China, a lot of European countries, UK, USA.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different languages here.
yes, there are. And I was pleasantly surprised as well. I have not had any difficulty. Now and then you run into someone who does not speak English.
Right.
But that's okay. You figure it out.
They do.
But
And
so
it's-
many of the people are so gracious and welcoming, so
Right.
I appreciate that.
Now tonight they have what they call traditional night, and so the countries come dressed kind of in their traditional clothing. We
Yes.
heard.
Yes.
So we're like, well, this is traditional U.S.
Yes. It's also referred to as Tyrolean night. And so there'll be lots of lederhosen, there'll be those big long horns, and there'll be lots of dancing, and I imagine all sorts of things. But yes, you look very traditional.
Very
I
American.
don't know if this is traditional or not, but we're going to go with it.
We're gonna go. We're gonna be there. So that's tonight. Tomorrow will be the third day in the competition, and that's freestyle. So this is where they can do any system they want, and they can make it kind of pretty, doing some
Pretty,
different
yes.
designs and different things.
Striking, yeah.
Yeah.
They have to use the materials at hand.
Right.
They can't bring in any materials to add to it, so I'm told.
Yes.
And so I've seen examples of each of our companies' creative abilities in their own portfolio of work. So I'm very eager to see what they have in store.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be great. So stay tuned. We're going to be getting some more interviews today. We're going to do some more just straight from the competition floor where you can see how our teams are doing. So stay tuned. We'll be back.